All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we're tackling a universal digital frustration that I know for a fact we have all run into at some point. We're going to figure out how to finally beat the PDF image trap and unlock those files for good.
So, quick question for you to kick things off. Have you ever tried to save a photo directly from a PDF? You know the scenario. You get this beautiful brochure, maybe a detailed report or a massive product catalog, and there is a stunning, perfectly crisp image right there on the page. But when you try to right-click and save it to your computer, absolutely nothing happens. It is completely locked in there.
Right, so what's our usual go-to panic move when we hit that wall? We resort to the absolute worst workaround, taking a screenshot. We end up losing the original brand assets, we sacrifice all those crisp details, and we just settle for these terrible, low-res screen captures just to get by. It's incredibly frustrating, especially when you literally know the high-quality original is sitting right there on your screen, totally trapped in the document.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. A simple, free solution, extracting images in seconds.
Our source material highlights this seriously brilliant tool called the PDF Image Extractor. It's a completely free browser-based solution, and honestly, it's a breeze to use. Just 3 simple steps. First, you just drag and drop to upload your PDF. Second, you preview the visual gallery it automatically generates and just pick the images you want. And third, you download them. You can grab them individually or, and this is a massive time saver by the way, you can batch download everything into a single zip file with literally 1 click.
Section 2. Inside a PDF file. Unbaking the digital cake. So to really get why these images are stuck in the first place, we kind of have to change how we think about PDFs. Think of them more like digital paper. Photos aren't just sitting in a regular folder in there, they are essentially baked into the document's drawing instructions. To unbake that digital cake, we look for a very specific technical element called the X object. Simply put, this is a self-contained data stream, kind of like compressed pixel data for your photos, tucked neatly away inside the document's code. It's essentially the hidden pocket where your actual pixels are sitting securely away.
So how does the browser actually pull off this extraction magic? Well, it uses an open-source engine called PDF.js. And the process happening under the hood is fascinating. It reads the binary file right from your device, forces the engine to decode the page, and actively hunts down those hidden X objects. Then it decodes that data onto an HTML5 canvas and re-encodes it as a brand new image file. It literally reconstructs the hidden images right before your eyes.
Moving on to Section 3, Raster versus Vector Graphics, knowing what can be extracted.
Now, as powerful as this tool is, we do need to manage our expectations a bit, because not every single graphic can actually be saved as a picture. Raster images, those are fully extractable. These are your photos, your scans, embedded JPGs, basically anything built with pixel data. Vector graphics, on the other hand, are totally unextractable. Things like crisp logos, charts, and drawn shapes, those are just math-based drawn commands living in the PDF code. Since there is no actual pixel grid to extract, they simply won't show up in your download gallery.
Oh, and there's one other quick caveat to keep in mind, and that has to do with scanned documents. If your PDF is a scan, it means someone essentially just took a photograph of an entire piece of paper, right? Therefore, it's stored as one massive image per page. So if you run a scanned document through the extractor, you are going to get full-page images back, not individual, neatly cropped photos pulled from within that scan.
All right, so once you've successfully scanned the document, you get to choose your output settings, and the tool offers some really great flexibility here. You can go with PNG, which is a lossless format that keeps every single pixel exactly as it was decoded, which is perfect for illustrations, diagrams, or really anything with sharp edges and text. Alternatively, you can choose JPG, which gives you much smaller, compressed files, and even includes an adjustable quality slider. That's usually your best bet for standard photographs. Plus, there's this brilliant size filtering option. It automatically hides all those tiny, decorative graphics and icons under 50 pixels, so your gallery doesn't end up cluttered with, hundreds of useless bullet points.
Section 4, Complete Privacy and Security. Your files never leave your device. Now, if you're working with confidential reports or private documents, you should absolutely be hesitant to just upload them to some random online converter. That's why this quote from the source material is essentially a manifesto for digital privacy. The Filer API loads your PDF directly into browser memory. That means everything happens entirely offline right within your browser. There is zero external server upload, no temporary storage, and definitely no tracking.
Section 5. Real-world use cases. Putting extraction to work.
So let's ground this in reality. Where does this actually save the day in our everyday workflows? Think about catalog recovery. Imagine harvesting high-quality product photos out of a massive supplier PDF without taking hundreds of blurry screenshots. Or rescuing a pristine photo from an old company brochure when the original file is long gone. It's also incredibly useful for students pulling diagrams from research papers, or for archiving historical photos that are embedded in old scanned documents. When you put all your options side by side, the browser extractor is just clearly superior. It gives you original quality, batch downloading, and local privacy, all for free. Screenshots? Sure, they might be free, but you're limited to your screen's resolution and forced to do it painstakingly one by one. And while Adobe Acrobat definitely offers original quality and batch processing, it requires a pretty expensive subscription. The browser extractor just entirely removes both the friction and the cost. And that really brings us to a final provocative question to wrap up this explainer. Why on earth do we allow our own data to stay trapped in locked formats? Look, just because a photo or graphic was last shared with you inside a PDF doesn't mean it should be locked away in a digital vault forever. You now know exactly how the technology works to recover those embedded pictures at their original, pristine resolution, entirely securely, and literally in mere seconds. It really challenges us to rethink how we handle our digital files. Thank you so much for joining me, and I highly encourage you to go try unlocking some of your own trapped files today.